Croeso and welcome to the Cymru Bame Referee Forum. The forum is a new creation, but something that has naturally come together amongst the growing numbers of black and minority ethnic referees in Wales. The purpose of the forum is to provide an opportunity for open and frank discussions to take place on the range of issues affecting Bame referees. The meeting is hosted by Radio Cardiff's presenter Ali Zay, who is also a performance poet and writer.
Yeah, so just taking into that in a natural course, thank you all for obviously allowing me into your space, guys. I'm Ali Zay. I'm an artist, I'm a writer, a poet, a community activist, and a radio presenter at Radio Cardiff. So I'm interested in coming into this space of black referees and also seeing, some of the similarities of the struggles that I might even be able to relate to as an artist in an area that's predominantly white, middle class, middle-aged. So I've, entered in a world where ruffling new feathers, trying to see what some of the challenges that you guys face. And yeah, let's just have a conversation about it. Totally informal. I know you're all friends, so I want to just keep it like that, a chat amongst friends. I got a couple of questions to ask, and we can go around introducing ourselves from top to right. Just your name, how long you been refereeing, and we'll just start with there.
I'm Mel, or just Malusi. So yeah, I started refereeing last summer, so coming up to a year now. Got into it through the FA's diversity program. Was first meeting met obviously Amin, who was one of the first guys who talked about his experiences with refereeing and things like that. And then started doing refereeing mainly with Cardiff City Academy. So I've been doing that over the last couple of months, refereeing kind of under 8s and then up to kind of 15, 16s levels games, and then done the odd kind of friendly games with the men's, and then 1 or 2 Sunday league games during the season sort of thing. So yeah, been really enjoying kind of my refereeing experience. I think for the most part it's been positive sort of thing. I think one of the big takeaways with kind of refereeing is that generally it hasn't really been considered like a route to go into. I think for me, I never really considered even starting refereeing until this is an option sort of thing. You can do this and earn money as a bonus for doing it sort of thing. So it kind of was a no-brainer to me because I'm not really playing football at the moment. Stopped playing football since I graduated university a couple of years ago. So kind of it was a way to continue staying a part of kind of football in the footballing community in Cardiff and kind of get involved in things like that at the grassroots level in players development. So yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, my name's Amin. I'm inside current secretary of Cardiff Referee Society. Refereeing, I've been refereeing. I don't know what. I don't even want to look back at when I first started refereeing because I'll be thinking, wow, is that long? Over 15 years, 17 years, 18 years. I don't know. It's a long time. So referee. I've been quite fortunate to referee at all levels of the game. A couple of seasons in the Welsh Premier League, down to start off with a combination. First game was on Pontcanna. So just refereeing all the time. Still enjoy it, and interested in the journey that other referees are taking or have taken, and hopefully make it easier for them in the future.
Thank you for that, Mr. B.
So originally, I remember being referee when I played in the Welsh leagues, and then went into management. I've been managing for quite a while, and I saw this opportunity about refereeing, but genuinely I went in there because I wanted to understand the laws of the game a little bit so I can give it back to the refs. I'm not going to lie, but I haven't hidden from that. That's the truth. And then when I went to it, kind of really informative. Like you doing the first section was online. It was really, really informative. You learn quite a lot of new things. And then meeting up with everyone at USW when they talk through about how you do things and stuff. And then I had the opportunity to do a couple of youth league games. I really enjoyed it. And then I got chucked in the deep end to do some combination league games and some Sunday Lazaroo stuff, and I really enjoyed it. And I still do. When did I start? I think I started a year and a half ago. And I've probably racked up about 30, 35 games already, but I'm doing 3-4 a week because it's that enjoyable. And for me as well, as the fitness element as well. When you get to my age, you know, you don't get an opportunity to do many fitness things. So if you can get a chance to earn a bit of money whilst you get fit, it's a no-brainer. You know, I promoted this year, which was good. So now I'm hoping to pass my next fitness test and then get another promotion and try to go up the ladder as much as I can, really.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. No, it's crazy how just speaking to 2 or 3 of you so far, you've all got similar sort of jobs but different entries. So it's interesting for me so far. I'm gonna have a load of different questions for the lot of you. Sherm, should we come to you?
Herman Valentin. I came through it via my kids, 3 boys, all played. Yeah, mostly through those who lives in Butte we know Norman. He used to coach the Butte team, so I was helping him out. He was on his own most of the time. And then my other boy also, he played for a couple of teams, Grange Albion. They ended up being Grange Catholics in the end. Yeah, it was appalling watching those kids play without a referee or a coach stood in the middle, guessing basically. Yeah. And I was just like, no, this is not on. Do you know what I mean? So, and yeah, Norman said, yeah, go and do it. I remember me, Marvin also. Marvin was doing Buttetown under 13s then. And yeah, we did it together. Teged was on our team, Jason. On my group, there's only 3 of us still left in there. Teged, Jason Lewis, and myself, out of a cohort of 27. So it shows you how the dropout rate is really high. So yeah, I've been doing it for 7, going 8 years now. And yeah, I love it, enjoy it.
Thank you. So you sort of got into it, your boys are in the game, you wanted to give it to the refs too, so you had to join them, yeah?
No, but because they didn't have a ref yet, so I was just like, this is appalling, you know, it's just like, it's unfair on them to be playing when, you know, either you have a coach stood in the middle or sometimes there's no one there refereeing the game, you know, because the coach needs to coach. And yeah, it was frustrating, basically, put it that way.
No, I totally love that, you know, there's a problem and then you've made the solution there. So yeah, appreciate it. Well, yeah, we're sort of getting to it. So, you know, let's get to the meat and veg of the situation is, you know, being a black referee in Wales, it's gonna come with its challenges. You all probably got similar experiences or differences. I'd love to delve in and, you know, hear some of your stories.
Yeah, I'm happy to start off. For me, I think it's been pretty positive, to be honest with you. So I think with Cardiff City Academy, I've had the right kind of support and kind of mentorships with the coaches there, being able to show me, you know, what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, where I can improve, and areas where, you know, I probably need to work on going forward if I want to kind of get promoted and move on to the higher levels beyond kind of academy level football. So that's been really useful for me. I think one of the big eye openers with being a black ref is having that kind of cultural diversity in the pitch. You know, sometimes you walk on the pitch and people will be like, oh, you know what, there's a black ref. And even more importantly, like to the players sometimes well, you know, when you're having the quick chats before the games, you're like, oh, where are you from? Oh, whose family are you from? Oh, I know your cousin, I know your little brother, whatsoever, you know. I think that kind of them knowing that someone looks like them is a referee opens up so many avenues, because half these kids, the reality is they won't make it to professional football, isn't it? So seeing a ref who looks like them opens up maybe avenues for themselves to think, you know what, if it doesn't work out for myself, you know, there's always something else I can do. I can go into coaching if I wanted to do it. I can go into being a full-time referee sort of thing. So just being able to open up those conversations and have those conversations with players has been quite eye-opening, I think.
So yeah, I guess that's a sort of a positive effect that you get as being a referee. You know, there's representation there. They can see it, you know, so they might have, like, you know, as you said, they might not have thought of aspired to be a referee before, but being there, seeing there, I guess that's a positive. What about any negatives? Like, for example, me being a Cardiff boy, the representation has always been a problem within Cardiff City in all elements of its structure. I'm on about Cardiff City Football Club. What is it that I'm not sort of seeing? What do you feel about Cardiff City and its representation there?
I will say from my first hand, I haven't seen a whole lot. But having said that, like, I think one of the big negatives is that sometimes you can feel like a bit of a token. You can feel like you're being put in positions because of your color of your skin at the end of the day, you know, like not because you've earned it or because, you know, you're a good ref or because, you know, you have the right decision-making abilities to be in those positions, but because you maybe look like this and they want you to be a poster boy for their tournament or, you know, get involved in an academy level game because of what you look like. Sometimes it can feel like, you know, you're being ushered and pushed into those positions, maybe just because of your background rather than based on your merit sometimes, I guess. But yeah, that's probably one of the biggest, I guess, glaring, I guess, things I would say I've experienced sometimes.
Thank you for that. Thank you for that. I guess we're open to getting into it, guys. So if anyone got a question for each other of us.
Yeah, you know, I was gonna say that, like, you know, with the token, like I've been around a lot longer, and you know, I have had comments in the past and people saying, oh, you know, I thought he'd be a better referee. He must have been fast tracked, you know, to be in that position. And I'm listening to him, my ears are burning, and sometimes I haven't bitten, you know, and gone to him because end of the day, as a referee, you see the world differently, you see the game differently, and not everybody's going to agree with me when I'm refereeing, you know. So if people say, "Oh, I thought you're at this level, you should be refereeing this way," but hold on a second, I might be refereeing that way, but you're playing down there. So, you know, don't even test me, don't even come near me when it comes to you appraising my abilities and all the rest of it. And there are occasions, yeah, you know. You do go along to events, and you know, it's the kind of thing as in, is that role reversal, you know, going into a room full of white people. I gotta be careful. You know, I can go back and edit this at some point. Let me say that again. Going into a room.
No. Let's keep it close.
Going into a room full of people from different back, you know, the dominant culture. I'm being PC, you know. Going into, you know, room, and I'm the only black person in the room and so on, and all eyes are on me. These guys are not used to that environment, you know. So he's like, you know, you do have to set the impression. You do have to, you know, be more professional, maybe be more bit aloof and all the rest of it. But I would say, you know, we're there on merit, you know. And then if there is a bit of this ride where it may be tokenism, I think just enjoy that ride, because, you know, refereeing can be brutal. You know, you're only as good as your last game. And if you're given a final, or if you're given a really tasty game because, you know, this might have played a part in it, I'm thinking, well, okay, I don't mind that. I'll have a bit of that, you know. And then when you get that stage, that opportunity, just go from there.
I totally agree with that as well. And that's, you know, play the cards the adult, you know, play them well.
Yeah, I mean, like for me, it's I'm quite vocal. I mean, I'll tell you, I'm vocal on the side. You know, I will question. I won't swear at referees and stuff, but I'll question decisions. But it's one of those tactics when the referee comes over and talks to you, then you learn to be quiet and leave it as it is. But, you know, like having Amin in the circuit has made things a bit easier. Like, you know, with Herman as well. Like, it made it easier for me as a ref going in, because it's football, and we all know football is quite institutionalized. You look at the top, you look at the people making the decisions, they don't look anything like us. They don't understand our cultures. They don't, and they're the one telling us about what we need to do in terms of diversity. Like, come on now, like actually speak to me and ask me how I feel and what I think. So like what Lucy was saying about being the token, you know, it does happen. Like, you know, obviously I was put, because I became a referee, I was put all over the posters. You know, I liked it. I didn't mind it. But, you know, and for me, I thought I could have looked at it too. I could have looked at it as, you know, oh yeah, they only put me on there because I'm black. But I thought, no, actually, it's an opportunity for either young black kids to see someone there. Because I'm a teacher, so when I'm teaching, I always want to be seen as someone professional and good at what they do. Because I want young black boys and girls to see, hold on, that's a black man. You know, he's from South London. You know, he was born in the ghetto, and he's got himself where he is. And I think it's exactly the same concept with refereeing. So I think, like you guys have said, use that token aspect to your advantage. You know, but For me, like I haven't come across like difficulties in terms of I've had racial incident, which is I can't really discuss because it's been dealt with. But a lot of the times I think people do look at you, you're a black guy. It is what it is. Like they just start judging straight away. So like Melissa said, it's like making them at ease in a way, like talking to them. And sometimes you feel like you have to do that bit more. Do you know what I mean? You feel like right, I can't get this. If I get a decision wrong, it's got to be really minor, because if I've got someone who is white and we're doing the same, he's gonna get the opportunity more than I am. Like I asked about the cup finals for combination, and in fairness, they've been great to me. I can't complain, and it's not about boasting, but I felt I've done a good job because it's all about feedback from the team and from the players, and I've always had really good positive feedback. But now and then you get slagged off, but that's part and parcel of being a referee. And then I asked a question, like, why am I not getting these opportunities to like go and do these bigger games and stuff? And it's like, oh, because these guys are our bread and butter. It's like, but they can't run, they can't do this, they can't do that, And I think that there's a thing not quite right. But I don't know if it's because of my color. I can't say it's because of my race, if that makes sense. Which doesn't seem right. Like Amina said, like going to meetings and I'm looking around and I'm going, okay, there's Amin. Oh, there's Amin again. Do you know what I mean? And I'm looking for people who look like me, and there aren't. So it's about us breaking barriers, really, and it's going to be difficult for us, I reckon. Especially not you, Amin, but us young ones. Yeah, it's going to be, but it's just one of those things I think we got to face and try and deal with.
And again, I think like you guys getting together, having these meetings, creating a steering group is the way that it comes. You alone challenging. If you come together constantly and you're all facing the same challenges, you can brainstorm, get together. How do we challenge this? Who do we go to next? Like I was saying to you should have invited the diversity officer to this meeting. But that's just me speaking from the outside, looking in, thinking, okay, there's a problem there. Representation is being spoken about on, Twitter, and there's hashtags. And as you said, you'll be poster boys, like even if it's merit or if you're being used for the niche, still, like, how do you move that forward? Like that's an issue. How does it get solved?
There's a lot of box ticking, which seems to meet the criteria, but in reality, it's not helping us. In reality, why is it taking like Herman? Why is Herman not at higher level? Why is it taking so long for ethnic minority refs to get to the top? Like, you can't say you gotta go through this, you gotta go through that. What we've been through is a lot different to what people, indigenous people, that's the word you're looking for, indigenous people have to go through, if that makes sense.
Sure. Unfortunately, I'm too old, Nana.
Well, that roll to you, Herm. If you want to tell us about, some of your experiences during the time, maybe some positive, maybe some not so positives, on the overall effect.
No, lucky, I've been lucky so far in that 7 years. It's all been positive. No racial abuse as such, which touch wood, it carries on. Obviously, I've had the verbal abuse, as any can happen to any other referees.
Yeah, I was just saying the racial abuse, it comes from both sides as well. So it's not only like the white that's gonna swear at the black ref. Maybe it could be I'm curious. Do any of you get the black people saying, you're a sellout, or that type of the back, So it works both ways here,
No.
I had the opportunity to like avoid. I've only been in there for a short time, and when like, all right, how do I put this right? If I'm racially abused by a person, I kind of expect it. It's not right, but I accept it because of how it's happened to me in the past in other environments. When you're racially abused by a black person, that kills me, because this is my own people. These are the people that I've put myself in a certain position so then I can be a beacon to other people like me. So we talk about racism, other way, you know, I've had that, you know, and it was hard to deal with, you know, for my own people, you know, and I'll be honest, it kind of, it's thrown me a bit. And even talking about it makes, I'm just always thinking about like, Russ, that actually happened to me from some of my own, you know, someone who looks like me, like, you know. So that's probably the only racism I faced. And it hurts me that I want to talk about that in like a meeting where we're trying to talk about a lack of diversity and a lack of opportunities for you know, for black refs.
And Dan, I didn't mean to take it left, but there's just some questions that, you know, that's naturally just I want to ask. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, I was gonna say that yeah, I've been in that environment also where I've had that kind of vibe, and you know, it takes a while for you to process it, you know, because you've got the same background as a person who's being abusive towards you. So you're thinking, well, what makes them think they can speak like that to me in that particular way? And you try to analyze it from, you know, so many different angles. You know, if I was a white guy, would he question my decision? You know, it's like, for instance, like, you know, if you go into a hospital, you know, and whatever your background, and you see someone from a different background to you, so I don't want that doctor, get me that doctor from my background. You know, he's not going to operate on me. I want him. You know, is that almost like class level status? So that comes into which like, you know, for me, I have problems trying to process that even now, you know, and the mindset of the individual. So I just, you know, ignorance upon ignorance, and is difficult to handle and to process. As Nana said, if, you know, I was up in the valleys one time, this is going back a few years, and it's quite funny because like one player, you know, he made a racial comment towards me. I didn't hear it, but a player who heard it was mixed race, you know, and he said, he's a ref, he's just called you this and all the rest of it. And I was thinking, oh, I didn't hear it. So like legally, I can't do anything, you know, but to be honest with you, I was waiting for that boy to just do one little thing wrong. I was ready to send him off already, you know. So my blood was boiling, you know. I was saying, go on, chip over, do whatever. You're getting it, you're gonna have it, you know. But yeah, it's the kind of thing as it, and eventually, you know, every little thing I was blowing referee, you know, I was doing, you know, all these different fouls. Eventually, I triggered him, and then he blew up, and I sent him off anyway, and put a report in. And you know, it's funny because like after this disciplinary meeting, he didn't turn up. So according to the rules, that boy is banned until he comes to the meeting. When he goes to the meeting, then he gets slapped with a further ban of like 5-10 years or whatever it is, you know. So yeah, so yeah, you know, racism from both sides is sometimes easy to accept. Other times it's so difficult to understand and to allow happen, kind of thing, you know.
Victor, your signal's looking strong now. I thought, you know, it was mixing up earlier. If you wanted to, you know, the floor's yours to share your intro into becoming a ref again, and maybe some stories you want to share with us as well.
Yeah, so yeah, my story was pretty similar to Malusi. We started at the same time. I'll say I'll probably start touching on like the greatest challenges for me, just to skip that whole part. I'd say it's based on what you just said there, the attitude. Like my last game at the academy, I ref the West Midlands team, so there's quite a lot of black players there. And the first like introduction you found is they're very friendly towards you, with that mindset that if I'm nice to him, then he's going to be nice to me when I make a bad challenge or if I'm offside. You know, that treatment, they expect that special treatment. And then on the opposite, where like I've ref teams like Swansea, they've had the reaction where it's, oh, you're reffing for Cardiff, so you're going to be biased against us. But when I've been with my white counterparts, they've seen it as fair because they've seen them at higher levels. So I guess, yeah, that barrier where we're only seeing at a certain level, it's a bit, well, you know, we're restricted to what we can do, really. But I think, yeah, it's really towards that attitude. If everyone had a flatline attitude that the ref is ref, regardless of their skin color, what level they're repping at, then it can help improve people coming into the game. Especially, I'm still, I consider myself quite young, stepping into the game. But yeah, really, that's my take on it.
Well, thank you for that. I guess like the question is, how do we overcome some of the challenges that you guys are facing as black refs, whether that be introduction into refereeing and then also leveling up as a referee? Do we attack full on? Do we go on the radio waves? Do we go on the Twitter tirades? Malusi, you're thinking there. Share your thoughts.
I think you touched on it before when you said about the equality and diversity officer in the FA, and I think you said we need to invite them to spaces like this. I think that's an important discussion, but I think as well from their perspective they have to open the door to ourselves to be involved in those discussions in the first place, because we can do all the social media and do all the shouting and screaming we want, but ultimately they have to be open to hearing what we have to say and our perspectives and ideas on the issues. And I think they have to be the ones to say, you know what, we want to hear what are your experiences and how can we change it so that ultimately the next generation have a better experience of what being a ref is, and it's more representative for different communities who look like us in the first place. So I think they need to open doors for us to be in those spaces in the first place to have those discussions, I guess.
Yeah, I totally understand that. But again, there's people being paid as diversity officers, as inclusion officers. So it's all about, and we can complain from, our own halls, but we have to take it, like in my experience, you have to take it to the people who, not about if they want to hear it, they get paid to hear it. And maybe we're not being, as vocal enough. Maybe I'm wrong. But
it's not just the refereeing aspect, you see, because like how many black coaches are in the Welsh League that you know? Me, Sean, Aston, and Shaper. There's 4 of us in what, how many leagues? But that alone is one problem. And then the next problem is how many ethnic minorities are we actually seeing in the Cymru South and in the Ardell League? Not many. How many black representation people have we got at the FAW? Not. I think it's a systemic problem, because we refs are always going to face these issues if there isn't the cohort of people who understand you. Do you know what I mean? So like if I'm Welsh and everything I do is Welshy, I'm not going to understand someone from Pakistan as well. You know what I mean? Because my what I've been through in terms of my culture and my experiences are completely different. So we can't make enough of a change as referees unless it's changed at the top. And I think that's what our biggest problem is. Yeah, we can have these meetings, we can put these meetings across, but if you don't have someone like Amin in, let's say, in the FAW working with like I know Amin does it, because Amin got me down at Grange Pavilion, and I went there because I was like, right, as a black ref, I'm going there to support Amin, because if there's 2 of us, just one person. And we had Musti and all those they joined the course, and quite a few have come through it from that moment. But we have to go out and do that. But then the FAW needs to utilize the likes of Amin and the likes of people who've been in the refereeing society to actually understand what needs to be done. Because I don't know if that would have been done if it wasn't for Amin. If Amin hadn't gone and we need to do this, absolutely there's no way it will be done. Yeah. So we need people at the top before us at the bottom. We're not at the bottom, well, you are below, before we can actually reap the benefits. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's Cardiff is like this. You look at Cardiff City. There was a game once Cardiff City played. It was like totally Caucasian players. And I'm like, this is Cardiff, a multi-racial city with at least, I think now it's about 18% from mixed race, diverse Bame. We call it Bame now. And then yet you look at the football team, who's the starting 11, and there's not one person from a mixed Bame background. And I was just like, this is wrong. They're all on the bench. It's like, so kids don't see like, oh, I can get into Cardiff, But I hear that a lot of kids from Bame makes it to the academy, but never makes it to the high level.
I'm going to say, I definitely agree with a lot of the points made that, you know, is like I refereed at the academy, and we get teams from the West Midlands, from London. They come down. The first thing you notice, half the players, the youngsters, you know, they're black, you know, and I think so. Wow, that's nice to see. And then, but even better than that, I'm looking at the touchline of the coaches. Half the coaches are black as well. And I think it's, you know, it's really nice to see. But then when you look at the Cardiff bench, you know, it's not a single black face there. The players, only a small minority are from the black, you know. I think it's like, wow, it's like, it's, you know, like they've come to an area where, okay, it's Wales. Wales has this perception of being, you know, monocultural, but no, Cardiff's a multicultural city area, and but like it's not reflected. But I think for ourselves as a community, you know, what do we need to do to open up those doors? Well, okay, well, we're not the key holders, are we? You know, we don't have the keys. And yeah, definitely FAW, you know, it is monocultural when you go there. However much, you know, I think for ourselves, it's a kind of thing as in, you know, like, yeah, as you said, those jobs may not be sexy enough, you know, but it's a kind of thing as in, I suppose, that you get that one person walk through that door, then, you know, perceptions change. You know, I think that one person does have to have that token, you know, halo or whatever on top of them, kind of thing, you know. But it's quite difficult then, you know, it's quite difficult for that person to go through. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, seeing is believing, and hopefully, you know, things can change. But it was interesting with that refereeing project at the pavilion, because I was scratching, you know, I've had this in the back of my mind for a while. I think, well, you know, why don't people, like, you know, what are the barriers? For, you know, to become a referee is a hard sell anyway. You know, a lot of kids want to go into coaching, management, and all the rest of it. Great, go and do it. But then I think they have the same problems, as in they're looking at the lecturers, they're looking at the workforce they're going into, and there seems to be that barrier for them to go forward. So I think it's going to take a while for the numbers, but you know, I suppose coming up with initiatives, you know, because I turned around and said to the FAW, I said, could you give me free? It was online courses. Give me 20 free places for referee courses, and I'll fill them with black and minority ethnic you know, people and so on. Get more representation. And, you know, it's funny because we had that session in Grange Gardens, and we got about, say, 15 people signed up. And just that one sign up is like, we tripled the number of black referees in Wales.
Overnight.
Overnight.
Yeah, see?
You know, tripled it or quadrupled it. Things like, wow, there we are. You know, and you know, it's almost like the ethnic diversity of this thing in tick. I've met my challenge. I've tripled the number of referees, you know, and so on. So exactly. You know, but like it is putting that challenge, saying, "Oh, can you do this? Why can't you do this?" And I said to him, I said, "Well, make it free. Take that, you know," because like they were running a scheme at the same time where they said, after 8 games you get your money back. And I said, well, okay, yeah, but you still got to, you know, come up with the money, and like, is that thing as in that uncertainty, the path you're taking, make that totally free, and then see how many you get. And there we are. They got the numbers, and I have tried to repeat that over in Swansea as well. So I went over to Swansea, but I've never refereed the game in Swansea at the lower level. I don't know people in Swansea. So this is a story for you. Is with the African Community Centre there. So I went along there. I done a presentation. Not many turned up, and I said to them, I need to referee a game in Swansea with this team, so they can actually see me in action. You know, impressed or not impressed, whatever. But at least they see me. So I ended up going refereeing a game there. And it was like the team there, the African team, they were brilliant. Like, you know, the characters, you know, I thought to myself, it's like being back in Bhutan again, that kind of, you know, loudness. And I thought to myself, I was warned beforehand, you know, this team, their discipline is not very good. And I thought to myself, it's not, I said, it's my people. I said, they're loud. They don't mean anything by it. They're just, that's the way they are. You just gotta brush it off, let them get on with it.
Culture.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But and that's where it is. There's a lack of cultural like awareness. You know, it's like I remember when I did the Somali League. You remember I asked to do the Somali League. You know, Snorri's asked me, and people were like, "Oh, don't do that, mate. It's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be hard." And I was like, and I'm one of those people. I'm like, listen, I don't care. You know, if it kicks off, I know I've got a big away. You know. It was one of the best games I had ever officiated because, yeah, I knew what they were doing, but I stuck to the laws of the game, and I had a chat with them. I explained it to them, and they were fine. And both teams at the end, even though they were like threatening to walk off the other team, they still shook my hand at the end. Do you know what I mean? And because I understood their culture, I understood what they were getting at. They were like, "Oh, come on, man, that's a foul." And I'd be like, "Listen, come on now, that's a bad dive." And then look at me and go, "Yeah, fair enough." Do you know what I mean? And whilst other refs, if they went, "Oh," you're like, "Oh, yellow card." But once again, it's because of the lack of, you know, ethnic minority refs.
Yeah.
You know, these players are getting yellow carded. They feel like they're getting picked on because people don't understand them. I mean, and that's why I think like what you were doing, I mean, with that group is absolutely superb, and we need more of that because otherwise, what will happen is a lot of our young black players are going to have a lot of suspensions because, you know, people don't understand them. They don't understand the culture. They don't understand that if they get fouled, they're going to roll 17 times. But it's part of the game. Like when I went Africa and I went Ghana and I watched the games, I was like, what is going on? Do you know what I mean? But then people are like, that is the culture. That is the game.
Yeah.
You know, that's how we play in Africa. You see those two scissor tackles, you know, the ones where they go on the floor, they slide, and then one leg comes and the other one comes. In this country, we're given a red card. But you see in Africa, it's not even a foul, you know? And do you know what I mean? And it's understanding that cultural balance, really. And I think that's where we could go. I think we could do a bit more when we talk about where do we go next? How do we, you know, take it to the FAW or get more ethnic minority refs in so they can understand the people they're reffing? You know?
That's what literally we're coming towards the end of the hour that we got with you guys, but that's the question I was going to lead to. What do we do next? Where does this go next?
I think recruitment is good, like what Amin's doing. I'm happy to join. Probably next one, Newport. Have you done Newport, Amin?
No, I'm trying to get contacts in Newport. I don't know many people in Newport. I was going to say, it's like in Gwent, there's about, say, like 100, 150 referees. And I know of only one referee from our community. So yeah. And the problem is like, you know, young players, they don't develop, they don't go up through the ranks because you know, they don't see football as an avenue, because like, you know, it's a career. Football is a career. There's so many different aspects of football, whether it's the nutrition, the physiotherapy side, the fit, you know, all of it is all there, you know, not just coaching. There's so many different aspects in football. And I think there's always been a closed community in Wales and hasn't given that opportunity to others, you know. So it's like just knocking on our door to give others that chance. And I was going to say, just finish off my story with Swansea, that it was funny because like the other team, the Swansea team, 100% white, the guys would turn on, they're like saying, oh, referee, this is a foul. Like the way he was speaking, like I think himself, he was like a couple of the African boys that, you know, they were like students and so on, accents and all the rest of it, great. And the Swansea boys then, like the referee, he said, oh, talk to me like in like broken English. I think to myself, what's going on here? You don't, why are you talking to me in that way for? You know, that kind of thing. So later on, like one of the boys, Swansea boys, he tried to explain to me the offside. I'm not offside, referee. I am not offside. If you were to look and see, and I say, mate, I said, I'd be refereeing, say that, you know, longer than you've been playing football, so I don't need any tips on very much. He goes, oh, don't be pedantic now. I say, well, actually, you know, in my mind, I wanted to say to him, well, actually, I'm not being pedantic. I'm being facetious. But anyway, let's get on with the game. That's what I wanted to say, but I held back. But then, it was funny because, like, in the end, the game went well. You know, it was like 7-5, end to end. It was like proper Parks football game, mistakes galore. The African team, unfortunately, they lost. I did try to help them out, but You know, if you're gonna like, you know, try to be like Arsenal and try to walk the ball into the net, then you're gonna have problems, aren't you? I just realized I got two Arsenal fans on the call. I got the Nana's an Arsenal man.
Nah,
Also,
good.
Ali's an Arsenal man.
Don't start.
Oh, three. Check you out.
He's good.
Victor as well.
You mentioned Arsenal, I'm like,
Yeah. Okay. I know time's coming up to the end, but I was funny because, like, you know, on reflection, I got hold of this book.
oh yeah.
Well,
Your show.
Your show is about the career of Uriah Rennie.
Yes.
It's funny. I was at a presentation with the author, and he gave me a copy of the book and so on, and it took me a while to read, and it's a bit of a difficult read. The first, I now understand Uriah Rennie, because like he shot the fame, and all of a sudden for us, under the radar, he works at Sheffield or South Yorkshire Football Association, and I did contact him one point. I said, "Oh, can I get you on Zoom? This is during the lockdown. Can I get you on Zoom for a meeting?" And he said to me, "Thank you for the email, but I don't do anything in public." And I thought, wow, this guy's cold, man. He's really cold, But then I read the book, and it's the kind of thing, as in, I say, referee's a hard path to take. You get a lot of, you have to be really focused, especially when you go to the top of the game, because everybody wants to take a piece of you and pull you back down. And in, for this guy, what he did, what he achieved, he should have achieved more. He was definitely reached that glass ceiling. He couldn't get any higher, and some of the issues were down to basically being the only one in that situation, and it did hold him back. But what he achieved was amazing.
Yeah, what about you youngsters, Victor and Malusi? Like, obviously you guys are, from your view, because obviously you guys are looking at it from a completely different aspect. What do you think we could do? Because, to try and help you guys, really?
Well, for me, growing up, we used to see stuff like the Community Cohesion Cup, which is like pretty much a cup involving all the Bame communities. So seeing that, and hopefully, if it was still around, could have referees, that's the introduction to them, repping people that's in their community, so people they're comfortable around. But now you don't really see much funding going into stuff like that. And it's now where you're stepping into, like you said, where you're repping, some aggressive, white counterparts, where you're now thinking, do I really want to do this? And then you've got stuff like the academy, where I go there for an hour and it's only £20. Is it really worth me staying in this career? So again, I guess it's opportunities where you can sort of feel like you're represented. And then having that, once you stepped into it, then you feel more encouraged, like, oh, well, I might be good at this. Let me keep trying, and I only get better, and then keep working your way up then.
Yeah, I think I definitely agree with that. I think even just to add on to that, I think even just continue to have conversations like we have had today. I think we've been here for less than an hour, and I've had some takeaways from all you guys. You've been refereeing much longer than me. Like just even having dialogue with you guys and you guys, and then I guess just helping us on our path as we hopefully continue to do refereeing going forward into the future, and seeing how far we can take it ourselves, and then just, I guess, keeping somewhat of a coalition together and having those conversations and discussions, isn't it, really, and being open.
Well, that's exactly it. The idea was, what potentially could this be? Is it going to be a one-off session? Could it be a start of something, a start of a coalition group? so yeah, if you're all down for that, I guess can create a group, put us all together where we can knuckle up ideas, create a meeting time that's suitable for ourselves. I'll leave that with
Yeah, just to put that into thing. I know when I got racially abused, I got followed by an FA group, which is basically ethnic minority referees.
Bame Ref Network. Bame
yeah,
Ref.
and it's like, why have we not got one here?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because we can share ideas, we can share experiences, and we can encourage more
Great
people, you know, to do that. And this is something where I know, I mean, unfortunately, you're the guy at the top of the game.
Yeah, no,
you know,
because I was going to say that our network, they had a forum last season at Aston Villa. So I went over to Aston Villa, and they had a unbelievable, like the FA there had the PGMO was there and so on. It was unbelievable little meeting then, and you know, it's the kind of thing as in I thought, okay, well, yeah, we need this in Wales. So I turned around and said to I'm hoping this could be, because I was looking to them say, well, come over to Wales, you know, and so on, you know, and I even said to him, I said in an email message, I said, oh, come to Wales, come to Cardiff City, you know, get hold of this guy in the FAW, and I'm 100% sure he will set up another similar kind of meeting at the Cardiff City Stadium, get all these top stars and all the rest of it, you know, to attend. But they went a bit cold and quiet, so I'm not sure they're overstretched or whatever. But you know, I say, like, you know, we could lead the way certainly, and put them to shame and say, come on, let's, you know, whether they affiliate with us or whether we affiliate with them, you know. But that networking group. So instead of creating a wheel, but we can get ideas from them, and definitely put stakeholders in Wales to shame, because they're in the dark. They got it's not on their agenda.
So how many ethnic minority refs are there in that you know of in South Wales, apart from us?
So there's about, never say 5 or 6.
It's only Chivi that I know outside the group.
Yeah, you got Hamdi from Newtown as well. There's a small Mervyn is a young lad. He's about 15, 16. And
that's awful.
Yeah.
That is awful.
Yeah.
You got to get out there, guys, and let people know that there's people like you who been in the game. It's possible. It's an avenue. You're there breaking the ground, you know, you're groundbreaking, and you know, trailblazers.
But do you know one of the biggest problems that it's such a long process? Like, how long have I done? I mean, what, at least almost 2 years. Well, it'll be 2 years in December, and I think I've done a lot of games. I've passed the test, but I wouldn't even done one level, and it's going to take me 3-4 years if I wanted to go to Welsh Prem. I'm never going to get there. My legs will give in. Do you know what I mean? But it's such a long process to get anywhere decent. So as it, like, obviously the 2 boys, and then look at Alliance League, and up next year, and then Alliance Premier, and then Ardell. That's 3 years, and then 4 years. If you're lucky, you might get near the Cymru South. So that's 5 years before you get to Tier 2. That ain't encouraging.
But you're gonna start young though.
Yeah, but you know when you're watching it, because like obviously I manage and I see some of the refs, and I'm going, I could have a 20-year-old who can keep up with play. Yeah, they might make mistakes, but they're more likely to make less mistakes than keeping up with play. And I'm seeing some. I think we had a game the other day, and the average, the combined age was 200 and something.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean? I was just like,
it is true. Yeah.
And I'm not lying, am I?
No.
Do you know what I mean? And it's like the path to get there is too difficult. So I can understand why, you know, if you're facing difficulty as an ethnic minority, and then you've got to go through all that. That's why we're not. That's why we're not having them. That's why they're not sticking at the game. You know.
And I was saying, because like I think because the pyramid in Wales is so small, you got a lot of those backlogs to get up. Whereas in England, more opportunities, you know, to the pathways a bit to traverse and so on, and a bit more clearer. Whereas here, it's you got as in like the older generation, they're clogging up the system. It's the kind of thing as in I think that you know, the FAW got in the back of their mind their plan of having less clubs, more academies, and all the rest of it. But then, you know, with the referees, push all the referees down, and now get the youngsters opportunities to go up and so on. Yeah, that's what. So let me ask Ali a question. Since you're a non-referee, what's your point of view from our feedback? What can you say from this then?
Well, it's what I take from it, because there's a lot of similarities in what I go through as well. You know, I'm from Bhutan, in theatre, never took the traditional route. You know, never went to drama school, etc. So now I'm at a barrier where people automatically say, "Oh, you're not here for your talent. You're here for, you know, to fill the Bame card and so on and so forth." And then I'm like, okay. And then, you know, I got to get on stage then and show them, actually, no, I come with the, you know, with the oomph. And then so listening to you guys now, it's sort of like, oh, you know what? It's actually, we're fighting the same fight everywhere. But then I guess like the benefit that you guys got is they're together, even though, you know, there's 15 black refs in Wales, but look, you got, you know, 5 of you here. You know, so, and then I guess unity, and then coming together, keeping this group growing. You know what? I guess like there's a fight on, but it's winnable, you know. And I guess the challenges that you guys face tomorrow, depending on, you know, how we achieve and overcome them, can make the pathway easier for the next gen that comes after, you know. I'm blown away, like listening to you guys and thinking, okay, you know, I can go out there now and tell the young boys who plays football in the street, have you thought about being a ref before? You know, football is not only a player option, it's not only a coach option. People love the game and fall back. Like, for example, myself, I wasn't the best of football. You know, you haven't got that career path, you know, you don't know where to go, where to do it. These obstacles, how can we make the barriers less of a barrier, you know? And I guess that's what you guys got each other for, and that's what we need to push forward on. That's what I take away from that. Sorry if I went on a bit.
That's okay. I was gonna say, yeah, we're coming towards the end. I was just gonna share my screen. Can I share my screen with you? Can you see that? What can you see? You can see Twitter, is it?
Alize.
Alize.
Yeah. Alize.
So this is back in November. Like he became an internet sensation in back in September, before the World Cup, November. That's right. Yeah, when you bumped into David Ewan. I'll just play this now for the boys who haven't seen this.
Bumped into. Oh, go on then.
The lyrics. One bit said, sorry, but I just got to go and do this. I didn't know if I was ever going to see him again. I just wanted to give him props. I didn't understand the lyrics, but it made me go and dig up the lyrics. And then once I found out what the lyrics mean, that's where we got the infamous connect with the lyrics, you know? Cymru wedi bod y Cymru Cymraeg a'r Di-Gymraeg wedi dod at ei gilydd, ac o'n i gyd yn uno tu ôl i'r tîm cenedlaethol. A mwy na hynny, wrth gwrs, tu ôl y Gymraeg. And coming from Somaliland, you know, facing oppression there, you know, a civil war, coming over to Wales, having that Welsh culture, you know, understanding Wales and Wales's roots and their relationship with, you know, neighboring countries, I really connected with the lyrics in a deep way, you know. Bachgen, a wreiddiau yn Somalia, and I'm going to just get rhywun o Gymraeg.
Yeah, that can go on. So I'm sure you can go and follow Ali, and then I think you're doing some work with him at the moment, are you?
Yeah, so I actually performed with David Ewan last week in North Wales, in Bethesda, in the Daliad Cymru Festival. That's it there. We're going to be screening the performance in the Millennium Centre on Sunday, and it's also going to go out. It's also on S4C on Henour as well on Twitter. So yeah, I wrote a poem, got David to translate it into Welsh. I'm performing it in English. David performing in Welsh. Yeah.
Is that you? Yeah.
It is.
That's cool.
Yeah, man. So me and David, we'll be working together on another project in the future. Hopefully, for, you know, we're going for the Christmas #1.
Brilliant.
Nah, but thank you for sharing your stories with me, guys. I really do appreciate it. You know, we should set this up. I would propose it to be monthly. I don't know how you guys work with that, but we gotta somehow, you know, keep it not too loose. But I guess I'll leave that headache with that means to organize it between you guys.
No problem.
But yeah, just thank you again, guys.
Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you all.
Diolch yn fawr, and thank you for watching the video. We hope that you enjoyed watching it and found the discussion to be helpful and insightful. Please let us know your thoughts and engage in the conversation. Follow us on Twitter at Cymru Bame Ref. Please like and share the video, and also subscribe to the channel with more videos to follow very soon. Hoi of our and goodbye from us all.